We should be good to go now. It's
All right.
it's going.
There we go. Yeah, I'm seeing it starting to pop up on the. There we go.
Oh,
Perfect.
Well, it's Sunday, guys. Time for church.
Time for church. Happy Sunday. Oh, we can do.
Captions are auto-generated.
How was your week?
Oh man, actually very very interesting. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we had the, Can I talk about the car?
Yeah.
So last Sunday was my son's birthday. If you guys remember, we cut off the air. It was a great birthday. What's going on, Mom? What's going on, Joe? Praise Dale. Okay.
Yeah, raise hell, praise Dale.
So my wife was driving and the vehicle died.
Okay.
The vehicle died. It was very very, a very unsafe environment at that moment. And my first thought was, holy shit, my wife is in danger. She's in the middle of the street somewhere. But praise be, a bunch of strangers stopped for her, and
Good.
they were some of them were guiding traffic, some of them were trying to help with the cars. So that was really, I'm very grateful for them to
That's cool.
to be able to help.
Step
Yeah,
up and do the right thing.
yeah. She said there was a lot of them, a lot of people, right, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Like 4 people stopped.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like the most terrified I've ever been inside of a vehicle driving was on the Eastern Seaboard. I was outside of Boston, Massachusetts,
Oh yeah.
and it was during rush hour.
Oh.
And they actually let them drive in the breakdown lane. So it's like if your car breaks down, like you can't even pull over. Like it's literally like they open up
it's
the breakdown
that
lane
bad. Yep.
as another lane of driving. It was like everybody's doing like 80 miles an hour, bumper to bumper. So if like one car goes, like about 90 cars are gonna go.
It's bad. Yeah.
There have been more. Like it was terrifying driving like that.
Yeah, it's like, and especially because like the East Coast is notorious for having bad traffic. It's all over here.
I was being from out west. Like I've never really experienced like that many people at one time. You know what I mean? It's very densely packed over there. So I get it.
Wait till we're big and famous, and we have to go into a meeting into New York City for Spotify or something, and we have to drive through Manhattan traffic in the.
I won't do it.
Oh, we'll walk. We'll walk.
Yeah, I'll walk. I'm not fucking driving. I drove through part of that drive. I actually went down the Jersey Turnpike, and I actually drove.
Oh yeah.
I skirted like the outside edge of New York City, and I was like, hell to the fuck no, dude.
Oh yeah,
hell to the fuck no.
And it's fucked up because all roads lead to New York in some cases in New Jersey. So it happens, man. It happens, but that was a pretty down part of the week, and we get the car back on Monday, so it'll be back and ready to go on Monday. But pretty much practically brand new and ready to go for Kansas City. So I mean, a blessing that it didn't happen while we were on our way over there.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
that would have been crazy, man. How was your week, brother?
It was okay for the most part. I had to drive. I drove back from Kansas City last Wednesday, and then I've just been kind of BSing. I've got a busy week in front of me, and I've got a busy week next week, and then I'm going right back to Kansas City. But my girlfriend will be flying out the day before I final out, and so she'll get to see me get like my last couple of awards. And this week I got to set up my uniform and do a couple things with that and get all that ready.
Here we go.
And finish some paperwork, finish some freaking physical stuff, and that's pretty much gonna be it, man. After that, I'm just clearing post.
That's great, man. We're gonna have a George Michael soundbite for freedom. When that day comes. I'm happy for you, man. And I always think back, to when I was getting out, how frustrating, but how like liberated I was about to be, and
I'm honestly, dude, I'm seriously like I know there's a lot of people in my personal life that wish I could have stayed in longer, and to a certain extent maybe I did a little bit too. This was not my plan as far as like getting out, but it's very liberating, and like it's not. I've come to peace with it, and I'm now looking forward to getting out.
That's
like
good.
it's not. I'm not holding on to anything. Like I love the Army. I had a good time. I had a good run, but I'd rather be out now. And I'm glad that I get to go out on good terms.
Absolutely.
And all that stuff. So.
And that's great, man. It's a sense of accomplishment to go as long as you did. Because some people don't make it through their first contract. Some people don't.
And some people don't make it through their second contract, or and even if you only do 1 or 2 contracts, it's not the end of the world. Like you did your time.
Exactly.
Whatever time you did in the Army or in any branch of our armed forces, you did your time, and nobody can ever take that away from you. So whether you do 3 years or you do 23 years, there's nothing wrong with that. That was your journey. You know what I mean? And everybody has their own journeys, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the story, but a new book will be written, as some would say. The chapter closes, or maybe you're starting the sequel or something. But this is
the next chapter. Yeah, this would definitely be either the next chapter, or I have to start another book, because like the last 11, almost 12 years has been filled with Army stuff, and that's. I want to say, let's see, I was married the first time in 2008. And then when my first wife left me, that was about a year after we got married. So that was 2009. And that's when I went back to Tucson and went straight to MEPS, basically. Like I drove halfway across the country with my tail between my legs. And when I got back to my parents' house, where I hadn't lived in like 10 years, basically, you know what I mean? Like I literally went like to MEPS the next day and started the process of
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
I was like, fuck it. Got my heart broke. I'm going to war.
YOLO, man.
But I did. That's what I did. Now, almost 12 years later, like here we are. So it's the next chapter is beginning.
There you go. What you got in your hand today, man?
Oh, just Coors Light.
Oh, water.
Just water. Yeah, just hydrating. Hydrating this morning.
While we're in the conversation of drinks. We need to make a game of me saying while we're in the conversation, because I always say that. But
is that like your thing now?
Yeah. So while we're in the conversation of beverages, major news this week for us guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We are now sponsored by Rogue Energy. And usually some people, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, get my product, use my code, without trying it." But ladies and gentlemen, I am about to try the product right in front of you guys. I've already had it. So yesterday, I'll start off with yesterday's drink. I had a Rogue Shake cookies and cream.
Okay. Is it like a protein shake?
No.
They're like working out, or is it literally just a shake?
It's just a shake. Okay. So there is a serving size. One serving size is a scoop, 5.1 grams. Not that much. 0 sugar, 0 calories.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a big plus. But what do keep in mind, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. So this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases. Just keep that.
Very typical with like pretty much every energy drink out there.
Yeah. So all it says here, mix with 16 ounces milk. I did it with a protein drink.
Okay.
And I had a thicker consistency. I did try it with the milk. It was milky. But you get like a flavored milk, which still isn't bad. But I want something thicker when having something like this.
Right.
This itself, it's 18 ounces, one packet, dietary supplement. Not bad. This is not bad. So my wife has not tried it yet, but I got her the 300 milligram caffeine strawberry lemonade Rogue Energy Extreme, which is for, if you want to work out, go for a run, clean the house.
Right. Whatever.
Yep. And the extreme flavors also come in green apple. So
in other words, if you want to hear colors and taste sound, that's the one to go with.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
The other, also with the milkshake, it comes in cookies and cream and caramel vanilla latte.
Wow, that's an interesting flavor. Holy crap!
Absolutely. So, right here. So I'm in the website right now. So what did I do, guys? So I got the starter kit. So the starter kit got me this beautiful pink Rogue Energy cup. But
I can dig everything but the color.
yeah, well, actually, I got this one from my wife because I have my own cup, and it's no disrespect to Rogue Energy at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
We have our own preferences. So what I'm gonna try for you today, guys, this is actually my mixer cup that I showed you a couple episodes ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's got everything in there. Today we are going with Rogue Hydration Fruit Punch.
There you go.
Really good stuff. I am a fruit punch guy all the way. When you order, you have different. With the starter kit, it is $16, and you have a choice of a shaker and up to 5 flavors. So some of the flavors that we have are blue raspberry, strawberry kiwi, grape popsicle. Which actually that may be my next one too, because grape popsicle sounds interesting. Cherry limeade. Watermelon, pink lemonade, mango pineapple, fruit punch, dragon fruit mango, strawberry lemonade, and green apple.
And you get a choice of 5 of those?
You get a choice of 5 of those, or you could actually get yourself the variety box, which comes with 16.
Jesus.
And 16 packets for $30. Little pricey, but you're pretty much getting a whole tub in different packets.
Right.
So
Makes sense.
if you guys ever want to drink this stuff, so you need some water. 16 ounces, man.
Put your agua in the cup.
You ever seen that video with the lady? 2 shots.
Why is that ringing a bell? What was that video from?
What was that lady making in that 2 shots video?
Some kind of cocktail.
She was like making a cocktail, and she was like 2 shots. Yeah. All right.
Shots.
All right. So we're getting the. Ooh, look at the dust.
Ooh,
It's
here
like-
comes the dust. You're gonna be tasting sounds in no time.
Oh yeah. Well, this is just the hydration one, so this one isn't energy.
Oh hell yeah!
So they
Did you
do
ever
have
when you were in the army? Did you ever get to use a hydration packet
all the time.
that they give us?
All the
And
time.
they taste like, and it's like the more dehydrated you are, like the sweeter they taste.
Yep.
So if you're hydrated, it tastes like shit. But if you're dehydrated, it starts tasting sweet.
And
I
now
always thought that was like super interesting.
we spin.
What's that thing doing?
It's spinning. It's mixing the
On
drink.
its own?
Yep.
On its own?
Yes, sir.
Damn.
Now, ladies
In 2021.
and gentlemen, I got this cup from Target for like $19.99. MIIXR, battery operated. You get a nice little thing, and dude, you could put this with your Rogue Energy drink, and it'll make it you will not have any sugar residue in your drink at all, and you're good to go. We're gonna let this mix up for a little while. Use DD214 Gaming on your next order today, and you'll get 10% off your order. On top of that, on your first order, you're going to get a box with all this cool stuff. My box contained a $100 wine voucher for Naked Wines.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? Now, I'm pretty sure there's a catch, like, oh, you need to spend this much in order to, use this coupon code or whatever. But
Right.
you get some stickers, and you get also a reorder code for 25% off your next order, which actually I think I'm going to give to you, so you could get
I can re-up on it. Yeah.
get your
Well, because I plan on. So, obviously, we're going back to Kansas City here in a couple weeks, and I will be there for about 10 days. When me and my kids come back to Colorado, So they can start school and they can finish the game, so to speak, with the Army. I still plan on going up to the fort and working out. Like, I'll take my kids to school, and once I drop them off, I'll probably drive to the fort, go work out, and then just drive home. You know what I mean? And until I got to go pick them up from school for that day. So
that's too easy.
I still plan on keeping the body, hopefully a little bit in shape before I get all the way out of the Army. You know what I mean? So that's currently the plan.
A little running could help with that.
Yeah, little running, some cardio, and a lot of lifting. So yeah, it's an interesting time to be. How is it?
That's delicious.
Is it really good?
That is actually really good.
And that's just the hydration one, like where it's got like what, electrolytes and all that shit in there.
Probably. What's this thing say? It's amazing because no calories again, no fat, no carbohydrates, no sugar.
Right.
Vitamin D3, vitamin B3, B6, magnesium, zinc, 60 milligrams of sodium, 36 milligrams of potassium, and tyrosine, whatever the fuck that is. But
interesting.
This is the way to go, guys. I mean, this is actually really good. I can't even boast about this. This tastes really good.
That's good to know.
Yeah, man.
That's good to know.
So thank you, Rogue Energy. Thank you, Rogue Energy.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Yeah. So we got some interesting things to talk about this week. We had the home run derby. Yeah. I mean, the All-Star game was whatever. There was nothing too exciting about that.
But that game was over about I want to say by the fourth or fifth inning because the National League just wasn't putting anything together. So
yeah.
The American League kind of had that game in the bag,
which is interesting. Which is interesting because they had some notable players, but I mean, whatever. But there was some really, the home run derby. Always get excited every year about it. I don't know what the fuck Pete Alonso is eating, but to wipe out 35 home runs in the first round of the derby.
We were upset because not because of how well he did. I was watching it in Kansas City, and in the first round he was up against Salvi from the Royals. He was up against our boy,
who did really good.
Prior to that round, the highest number of home runs that was hit was 24. Well, Salvi hit 28.
Yeah,
but homeboy hit fucking 35, so Salvi lost the round.
Yeah, so
everybody in Kansas City was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" You know what I mean?
I have to say, because Kansas City, it in some cases is the headquarters of this podcast. So my wife was watching the home run derby, and she was so touched by Salvi's performance. The Royal from the Derby, that he put, that he was struggling the first time around, but he ended so hard.
Yeah, he did.
He ended really hard, and it was truly he did really good. The matchups.
I don't know if this is the first year I've watched the home run derby. I was even talking to my dad. Me and my dad. That's kind of like I've told you before. That's kind of like how we bond, and we'll talk baseball. We'll talk shop once in a while about baseball. This is the first year I've ever seen the home run derby played under the newer rules.
Yeah,
I've never seen that. This is the first time I've watched the derby in a while. I haven't really had the opportunity.
Yeah, it's very, very different.
It was way different than I was used to, and it's not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but you're gonna get those matchups where, yeah, you just hit more home runs than everybody else has hit up to this point, but the guy that you're up against hit more than you, which means you lost the round. So that's just part of the newer rules. Basically, it's a head-to-head competition until you make it to the next round. So, unfortunate for Salvatore Perez, but not the end of the world, though. I mean, it was still kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, and look, guys, I'm not praising a Met for winning the home run derby. All right, that'll never happen. Not in any lifetime. Not in any timeline. There is no alternate timeline where I am a Mets fan. I'll be a Boston Red Sox fan before I am a Mets fan.
Damn, that's a bold statement, my friend. That is a bold statement.
We are pinstripe pride, baby. And
so were you happy when the Royals beat the Mets in the World Series?
Oh yeah. And it's I feel like some of the pitches for some guys, I feel like Mancini had some shitty pitching. Shohei had some shitty pitching. Hell, even Soto himself.
Yeah. People were definitely, and of course it's the All-Star game, so you could tell people were playing pretty friendly. But this is like,
which was nice to see.
Now, it's like I don't know how many years it's been now. Like, long time ago, they created the rule in the All-Star game, like whichever team wins, like hosts the World Series, basically. So it's like there's a little bit on the line in the All-Star game, But the American League has won the last 9 or 10 years in a row now. Like the National League just ain't bringing shit.
I think the streak is like 7 or 8 right now.
Yeah, and so the American League has basically just been mopping the floor with the National League every year, and it's getting old.
It's getting real old.
The guys are having fun, but they're also not necessarily playing their best ball. So it's like, do you want them to have fun or do you want them to play good ball? Apparently they can't do both.
How funny was it when all the Dominican baseball players, they got together and they were like waving each other, fanning each other off, and the announcer was like, "It's the Dominican contingency."
Yeah.
And
there were definitely some good and very lighthearted moments in the game.
Yeah.
There's not, and as to be expected with an All-Star game, like nobody should be going out there trying to kill the other team. You know what I mean? There's an old baseball story involving Pete Rose, where I
think I know which one you're talking about. Yep.
Well, he was going into home and he bowled the catcher, the American League catcher over at home.
Yeah.
And it got everybody really because it was the All-Star game, but Pete Rose is like, "I'm Charlie Hustle, bitch."
Yeah. And everyone's friendly during the All-Star game. Everybody.
Right. So I mean, there's that fine line where like, do you want to see a good ball game, or do you want to see people like the ball players actually having fun and enjoying themselves? Because you're probably not going to get both, Because if they get homed in and they get serious about the game, obviously that's their job at that point. It's not the fun part anymore.
Yeah,
but obviously this game they were all having fun, and like I said,
and you could tell, man. You could tell, like
you really could. And the game was functionally over by like. About the time the American League scored like the third or fourth run, you knew the game was over.
Yeah, there was a moment where Fernando Tatis was on mic while he was playing. Which, first of all, to be able to pay attention to the announcers while playing at the same time is pretty incredible to me. And like he was saying, the announcer was like, "How do you feel?" He was like, "I'm just living the dream, papi." Like,
Right.
And up at bat was Vladimir Guerrero.
Okay.
And if you know baseball history, Fernando Tatis Jr. and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., both their fathers were very good major league players. So for them both to be in the All-Star game
together
against each other, and there was a moment where Fernando was at his position and Vladimir fucking bombed the home run. It bombed, and you see Fernando just like. But that's, they grew up together. It's interesting. And the All-Star game has always been a cool thing. And I'm actually surprised that you missed it, because it wasn't even that far from you, was it?
No, so if I had been in Colorado at the time, I mean, yeah, I maybe could have gone up to Denver and done some of the stuff outside the stadium or whatever, because the venue changed this year. It was supposed to be in Atlanta this year. And they changed it to go, and they moved it to Denver, where the stadium where the Rockies played. Which, by the way, been living in Colorado for almost 7 years, still have not made it to a Rockies game. Like I still have never seen that ballpark.
You gotta make it happen. It's an interesting ballpark too. Very interesting park.
Well, I'm sure it's a great ballpark. It's just one of those things where like that you can thank Mother Army for that. Like that's one of those things where like you can live in one of the most pristine, beautiful areas of the geographic United States of America, and not see shit the whole time you're there because you're just fucking busy all the time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I've driven through the mountains a couple of times. Last year, when some of the early coronavirus girls place called Glenwood Springs, it's an amusement park, which is right outside of Denver. But I mean, I haven't really explored Colorado the whole time we've been here because I've just been fucking nonstop for the fucking Army since we got here.
Like, you know how many times my family and I went to Atlanta, passing the Brave Stadium, and just even going to I remember we went to the Coca-Cola museum once, which if anybody is ever in Atlanta, you have to go to the Coca-Cola museum. Amazing.
Check that out.
It's so cool. It's beyond anything. But anyways, I remember the one day there was a lot of Yankee fans there one day. T-shirts. I'm just like, is there a fucking game? That day someone died. So that game, someone fell off the stands and died. Yeah.
In Atlanta?
In the Atlanta game, yeah.
Oh man, I want to say I vaguely remember probably hearing about that on the news, maybe, or something. That's like you gotta be careful with the ballparks, especially when you get close to the railings in the upper deck. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like that's a thing. So.
And I mean, come on, let's be real too. I mean, they look so one wrong step, and you're rolling down those stairs. You know, you're rolling down those bleachers, you know, the way that those things are made.
Especially some of the older stadiums that were built like 50, 60 years ago. These stadiums that they were new in like 1960 something or 1970 something. You got to be careful because like even though some of them have been like remodeled and refurbished, like Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City has been refurbished. There's still some of those older design patterns that are there. You can't really escape them.
And now we're talking about like those steep like stairs, you know?
Yeah, and the ones at Kauffman Stadium are not that bad.
Yeah,
what you're talking about. Yeah, there are still ballparks out there where they are just
like Oakland. Oakland is like that, and Oakland is very much like that too, because I think that's the only stadium that converts into a football field right now.
It used to be.
That's right.
It doesn't happen anymore.
That's right.
Poor bastard fucking Raider fans out there. Fucking their team is no longer in Oakland. They're in Las Vegas now.
Actually, I saw a really cool video of how they transitioned it. Very cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know, out in California too, they got to build for earthquakes too. So
that's right.
That can also change some of the design, basically. I guess how you would design a stadium.
That's very true.
They've got to be able to withstand like a certain amount of earthquaking.
That's true. Before we go into the games, I just want to add in August 12th. The New York Yankees will be playing against the Red Sox at the Field of Dreams field.
Oh man, I need to stream that because that's the day. That's why we have to go back so early from being there in August. That is the first day of school for my kids that day.
The 12th?
And it's on like a Wednesday or a Thursday. It's like in the middle of the week, dude. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, why would you start school like on a Wednesday? Like, what is wrong with like?
Dude? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that's why we have to leave. Yeah, that's why we have to leave the day after when you and me go catch the Royals Yankees play at Stadium. That's why we have to leave the next morning because freaking
no shit.
They start school on the 12th. So yeah, but yeah, you'll have to remind me about that. We'll have to stream that, watch it together.
Yeah, and
maybe we can do a co-stream.
Hey, it could be done. It could be done. You know,
like a watch party, maybe.
Baseball, sports is a whole different animal when it comes to co-streaming and stuff like that. Unless if it's on.
Everybody's getting so butthurt about their freaking content anymore. And it's like, dude, like,
what the
fuck did you guys do in the fucking 80s when like somebody went to Blockbuster Video and got a VHS? And like 20 of your friends came over to watch a movie.
Yeah,
they didn't give a fuck about it then.
The shit
you know what I mean?
Really
like, why the fuck
me,
whatever.
Yeah, like the shit that really upsets me about some of these companies is these like base subscriptions. Like,
yeah,
I opted for MLB radio instead of video because what's the point of me wanting to watch a baseball game that's going to get blacked out because I need to pay for cable anyway?
There's places in Kansas City you can't watch the games because it gets blacked out.
That's it.
And but it's on the fucking AM station. But it's on the AM station, so it's like I can just go on my back porch and crack a fucking
and just listen to it.
Water and listen to the game on the radio. It's no different than watching it, really. Like it's baseball, so
it's literally just as good. I'm literally at work, throwing on a headphone,
throw on a game.
Throw on a game, listening to a game. I don't need to fucking watch it. And that's the beauty about baseball because there's not a lot of stuff that happens, and the announcers are so good, they'll describe everything to a T.
That's right. And that's exactly what they do. And, I don't... Well, and you talk about everybody jumping on the streaming, bandwagon or whatever. Like, it was like one of the only times I've ever seen, like, the entire... Like, the majority of people just get on the same wavelength. It's like, you know what? Fuck cable TV. I'm cutting the cord. Don't fucking need this shit anymore. And what do the goddamn companies do? Every company's got their own fucking streaming platform now. So it's like, if you buy all the streaming things, it costs more than fucking cable TV now.
It's true.
If you pay for every streaming service that's out there, you're paying way more than you would have paid for cable TV. So what in the fuck was the point in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, the whole point to begin with was to not have to pay as much goddamn money because you're not watching 90% of the shit that they're offering anyways, right?
Exactly.
And now it's just now we're right back to fucking square one. Like, if you want you want the Disney Plus, you want the Hulu, you want the Amazon Prime, you want the Netflix. Yeah. By the time you get to the end of that little rabbit trail, you're over $100 fucking a month, and it's like
true.
Might as well just stuck with fucking cable TV, baby.
Baby.
Fuck that.
Yeah, like the thing, like okay, like I feel like Disney Plus kind of did it right because with Disney Plus you get the ESPN2, you get the Hulu,
you got the Marvel,
National Geographic. You
got Star Wars, but
you get variety, you get options, but even then, $12.99 is still a little much for a bunch of stuff that I'm only gonna literally
watch most of that once.
Or about 40% of it, if even that,
Well, the kids might watch some of it a little bit more than that, but as far as if we're talking for adult content and adult, for me to give a fuck as a grown man, you're gonna have to give me a lot more than that for fucking that kind of money every fucking month. Dude. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and thank God for other apps like Pluto TV, where they have good channels.
Yeah.
They got the cops channel.
Dude, you know what Nikki always puts on at her house when she's working from home? She puts on the Price is Right. There's a Price is Right channel. There's a Price is Right channel. She puts on Price is Right. So you get to see it was so funny when I was out there. We were just bullshitting one night in the living room talking, and she had the Price is Right on, and Meg Ryan used to be on a soap opera back in the early 80s, and they had a prize. They had a prize from that soap opera. You could whoever won, the person could go and spend a day on the set of the soap opera.
Oh,
right? And so Meg Ryan was on The Price is Right in 1983 or some shit. Excuse me. And so it was really funny to see Meg Ryan on The Price is Right. You know what I mean? Early 1980s,
before All Famous and shit. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was another one too. Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul was on The Price is Right also.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was. And actually, his episode was actually kind of funny because he looks like a burnt out college student.
But kind of like he looked in all of
Breaking Bad,
basically.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but it's very interesting what they done. But I like the Disney bundle. But again, when it comes to ESPN2, I wasn't able to watch the All-Star game or the Home Run Derby on ESPN2. Right. I needed ESPN. I needed cable to fucking watch it. Get the fuck out of here. It's silly. It's very silly.
Is. And they're really these companies. I don't think they realize how to do it properly yet, because a lot of them, you can tell, are just really shooting themselves in the dick. It's like people already cut the cord. They're not coming back to cable. But now that they've cut the cord, they're also not gonna come to your app. If they're already spending $20 or $30 on apps every month, they're not getting another one. The whole point of cutting the cord from the cable companies was to not spend all your fucking money on shit you don't watch.
Exactly.
So like you're shooting yourselves in the dick and you're losing out like on your target demographic audience
And
by not offering more for less. You know what I mean?
And the worst part about that is that they take shit off and they move it to other streaming services.
Right.
Like, I can't fucking watch Seinfeld anywhere right now. I can't.
Not unless you pirate that shit.
Exactly. Like, they took Seinfeld off of Hulu.
Right. Like why? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's whatever. Like it's people. We've had this conversation so many times. These are fucking greedy cocksuckers being greedy cocksuckers. That's all it is. That's really all. Ultimately, that's all this comes down to. Like who the fuck wants to watch Seinfeld anymore? Who fucking cares what fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ, like you and some people from the fucking 90s that are like into it. Like after that, ain't nobody fucking watching Seinfeld anymore. So why would you fucking take it off and move it somewhere else to what? To make more money off of what? The 500 people left in the United States.
And on top of that, they didn't even move it anywhere. Usually they move shit, you know.
It just disappeared.
It's gone. It's gone. And then a commercial yesterday came up. Buy Seinfeld for a limited time. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to Barnes and Noble and I'm buying the box set with the puffy shirt on it. Fuck you.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's the shit I'm talking about, man. Like they're these companies and these, you know, institutions are shooting themselves in the dick. They're failing miserably when it comes to like the streaming platform.
Someone's gonna come in and just wipe them out. So
if it wasn't for my girlfriend, I wouldn't even fucking use the goddamn things. Like barely.
Yeah.
Everyone, we'll hang out and we'll watch a movie together. Like, you know, she's in Missouri, I'm in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like we'll watch like a movie together. Like
my wife and I used to do that too.
But that's the extent of like my TV watching right now. Like I don't watch anything outside of her.
Same.
Like I don't give a fuck about TV anymore. Like I gave up on that shit like 2 fucking decades ago, bro.
Yeah, the only I'm very picky. I watch my comic book stuff, but then like I watch, you know, I like my Big Brother. Love my Big Brother.
I still love how you're like into these just like super trashy shows.
Yeah,
that is cool.
I like seeing these social experiments to see that my life is so much better than these people's, and that you know that they choose to pick. Like the guy I was talking about last week that I was praising. He's a done deal. He's getting kicked out the house soon. So
they couldn't handle the veteran. Huh?
He's lost his fucking mind. He's lost his fucking mind. He's
too much.
He's a control freak. But you know, we got some cool stuff to talk about. Small thing here, not really big here, but there's no release date, which I think is very, very weird. But the game called Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is coming out for all consoles and PC. So think Super Smash Brothers.
With Nickelodeon
characters beating the shit out of each other.
Okay, well, like Doug and like Rugrats and.
You know what? I haven't seen Doug on the list here, but I think Doug is considered a Disney under Disney.
Oh,
yeah, I think Doug is considered under Disney now.
Unless they bought, I was gonna say if they bought him, maybe.
Yeah, because there was a switch there in the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's what I said. I want to see Doug's dad and the dad from the Wild Thornberries duke it out.
Oh yeah, my wife said she would love to see the Wild Thornberry's father, Nigel, who's in it, going against Doug's father. But you know, we have a small list here of characters who are confirmed to be in the game. And these are all, you know, recognizable characters too. So, you know, we're not getting like iCarly and fucking Drake and Josh and shit like that.
Right.
We're getting.
What about like Ren and Stimpy or like Rocco?
They're not. Oh, Powdered Toast Man is in the game from Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that if we see Powdered Toast Man, it won't be long until we see Ren and Stimpy. Oblina from Our Real Monsters.
Okay.
Lucy Loud from the Loud House and Lincoln Loud from the Loud House. I'm not familiar with that. This one is probably going to be my second main. Reptar from the Rugrats.
Reptar,
Reptar. Patrick Star and SpongeBob. Michelangelo and Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries, the father, which is probably going to be my main because that dude's brolic as fuck. Invader Zim himself is going to be in the game. I know there's a huge cult following for that. I'm also a fan of Invader Zim. Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob SquarePants. Danny Phantom and Helga from Hey Arnold.
Jesus, and I think you and your old lady were spot on, because at some point Disney must have taken over, because it says that for Doug, like,
yeah, there was a big thing about Doug, and I don't remember
because I remember watching Doug when it was like fresh and new. Like I was like 11, 12 years old, and my little sister was like 8 or 9. You know?
Yeah, and it's weird because you can actually see the transition with the music.
Right.
The art, not so much, but a little bit of the art was a bit different. My wife, she's more in tune with Doug because that's actually one of her favorite shows. But she's explained to me and shown me the differences between the Nickelodeon version and the Disney version. And I think there was a whole thing with the creator where the whole original writing team got fired and he had to replace them since moving to Disney. There's a whole big thing about it from what I understand, but I would love to see like Skeeter coming in with a skateboard and beating the shit out of like SpongeBob, you know. This game actually looks pretty cool. So, you know, there's no release date on it yet, but it's going to be out on all consoles and stuff like that. So get ready for it. Just get ready for it, guys. Next in line. Now, this is more of me asking you your thoughts about who you think would be good candidates. In Fortnite, we've had really cool events. They've had the movie event with Inception, which is actually around the time when we met. That happened around. A little bit before that, there was the Marshmello concert, and around that time there was a Travis Scott concert. Which the Travis Scott concert was so cool. I actually just watched it this morning with my wife to kind of rewatch and kind of refresh myself. But this week, it was announced that Ariana Grande will be the new in-game concert character and event for Fortnite.
Okay.
Pretty interesting, but I'm not here to talk about her being in the game. You know, this isn't something new that we've talked about it before. Fortnite always crosses over with big names and celebrities. But my question is, who do you think would be good candidates? Or who would you just fucking like to see do something interesting for Fortnite that you could actually think? And you did say an interesting band before, and we got into a little conversation of why we think it could actually happen.
Yeah. I would say, I mean, and I don't know. Like, for something like this, you've got to keep the core audience like involved, right, and invested. And if you pick a band that the core audience doesn't like, then obviously they're not going to get invested, and the whole thing is going to just fall flat on its face. Now, me personally, I would love to see some of the bands that I grew up with that are now getting older. And yes, they're getting older, but if they're still rocking and rolling, like, you know, maybe it's a little bit less taxing on their bodies. You know, they don't have to go out on tour. They can just go into a studio and stream it live. Yeah. Or like stream it into games like Fortnite. So bands like fucking Slayer, you know what I mean? That would be a great fucking, because they put on a badass fucking show, and you could do that in a studio, or you could even use computer generated stuff in game to make it badass inside the game. You know what I mean? And I don't know exactly what it looks like in game when they do these performances.
Very animated and very interesting.
And that's what I was just going to say too. And that's where I'd have to fall back a little bit though and say, I don't know that Slayer would be the first pick for the core audience of a game like Fortnite. That's probably not going to be. There's a reason that Ariana Grande is the one doing it right now, right? There's a reason she's the one doing it, because she will probably pull more people out of that core audience of Fortnite players right now, obviously. So, you know, that's where it gets really tricky, is like, what's everybody into these days? What's going to pull the most people? I don't know, but I think it would be really badass to see some of the older like guys that used to fucking like just tear shit up, you know, go back into a video game and stream a live concert from a studio. It'd be like a Legends performance or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Like-
that I like that a lot, and I'm gonna pitch to you why I think it could work. Now, with Fortnite, we've seen different themes. We've seen dark themes. We've seen light themes. Heaven and hell, grotesque, pretty. So it's kind of interesting that they could adapt to these things. So I could actually see Slayer, coming up with this whole thing and bringing hell on Earth to Fortnite. And,
absolutely.
And I actually feel like it could work too. And when you bring up something like, getting core audiences, we're in a weird time today because a lot of younger kids are buying these T-shirts,
right?
And a lot of them are getting called out. So what if one of these kids who buy, like I remember one time I saw a kid with a Slipknot shirt. He didn't even know, like
it's like the T-shirt, right?
And you think like, what can these T-shirts be a good marketing ploy to bring some of these younger crowds in to recognize some of these older bands like Slayer and Iron Maiden and stuff like that, to bring them into Fortnite? And I feel like that would, like it's not out of the realm of possibility. To see Slayer in a Fortnite game, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. I mean, there were still kids. I remember when I was in high school, there were still kids rocking Pink Floyd and fucking Led Zeppelin and like all that, just like shit that was before our time. You know what I mean? But some of those bands were still out there and still active.
Yeah.
Not so much Led Zeppelin, but
yeah.
Pink Floyd was still putting out albums every couple of years.
I mean, holy shit, Roger Waters is still fucking.
Roger Waters is still fucking around to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's. So it's one of those things where it's like, and it was, we grew up in a different era. In the era we grew up in, you didn't fucking wear a T-shirt unless you wanted to get called a sellout. You know what I mean? Or
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you better, if you're gonna rock that T-shirt, you better know all about the fucking band and every album they fucking owned. And I'm not saying it's like that all the time. It was that hardcore, but you would get called out sometimes to be like, yeah, fucking, this is one of my favorite bands. Like, fuck you too, bro. Right? Like whatever.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like you're saying, it's really not like that. Like you can just put on a fucking T-shirt and do whatever, and nobody cares.
Yeah, you'll have the certain bunch that'll call you out. A few certain bunch, but at the same time,
getting called out used to be prevalent though.
Poser.
Fucking sell out. You like ICP? You fucking sell out.
You only like Slipknot because you like Limp Bizkit, you fucking loser. Which, and speaking of Limp Bizkit, I could actually see Limp Bizkit doing a Fortnite thing.
I could too.
What's
up, Francisco? Welcome.
Frank Doc Shup. I'll see you next Saturday, my friend. And quick mistake. Last week I said I was going this weekend. It was a big mistake. It's next weekend I'm going to the event with Frank.
He says he came out here and all he hears is poser.
Well, and you know what, Doc? You are around. You're around the same age, as Jay. We're all around in our 30s. So you grew up around that time where if you wore a Nirvana shirt and you didn't know who the hell they were, it's over for you.
You're a fucking poser. You're a little bitch. But it ain't like that anymore. Like nobody.
Yeah.
People, like it's just not a societal thing to care about that anymore as much. So.
Yeah, but again, I could see a band like Limp Bizkit doing it. I could actually see like Limp Bizkit being like, oh hey, we could do a Fortnite thing, especially since they're about to come out with a 35-track album.
I'm not gonna comment on Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. They were cool when they were cool.
Deshaun, what's going on, my brother? Now I'm gonna go a little cheesy here, maybe. And you know what? With the way that this artist has been performing with his cinematic stuff, I would like to see The Weeknd do something with Fortnite.
Now, see that I could get down. That I could fucking get down with because he did a fantastic fucking job at the halftime of the Super Bowl this year.
Absolutely,
he did a fucking amazing job.
I would love to. I would love to see that. Now, unfortunately, Chester Bennington is not with us, but I would love to have seen like a Linkin Park Fortnite event. I really think that would have really been the thing, I mean, shit, let's bring in some of these old legacy bands, like Korn, because I can see guys like Slayer and Korn doing something like this more than Lamb of God, who I love Lamb of God. And let me tell you, Lamb of God was the first band that I ever experienced the Braveheart wall with. So, I love Lamb of God. One of my favorite bands, very controversial, but I see Slayer pulling in more people than Lamb of God. And like I said, The Weeknd. I mean, shit, the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC are going on tour together. How about we have them do?
Really?
Yeah, they're going on tour together this fall. Backstreet's back. All right.
What year is it?
Yeah, I know. But I could see them doing a Fortnite concert.
I could definitely see. They were. Yeah, we used to. Well, I'm not going to get in. I'm just going to end up talking a lot of shit. So I'm just going to. I'm going to shut my mouth already.
But I will say, I think I have a lot of people have all these hopes and dreams, but I think it's really cool that Fortnite is not doing these all the time. They're spacing these things. They're spacing these things out so we're not getting sick of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now see that is a good idea. Like we were talking about, like the streaming platform stuff. Doing a performance in a video game, that's a good idea. That is $1 million idea, and I can see that working.
You think we could get that for GTA? Would that be so hard to do in a GTA game?
I don't think it'd be that hard to do. I don't know exactly how they would do it. I don't see why it would have to be that hard, though.
I actually feel like more bands, like more underground rock bands, could benefit from being in a Rockstar game too. Instead of like bigger groups.
Well, like they have the venue at the casino.
Yeah,
there's already a venue in the game.
There's
true. Already a venue in the game. So all you'd have to do is just go to the casino and go to the nightclub down there, right? And you could go watch your favorite band play in a video game.
Absolutely. Before we get into the big major news this week, I want to say this week I played some games with our friend Kobalis of Ursius Fragment.
Okay.
Always praising us, always giving us the good love and shit, man, and vice versa. He says hi to you, man. And I showed him Microsoft Flight Simulator yesterday. And yeah. I think I had him crying or something. He must have been crying because I think he's downloading the game. I got back into Fallout 76 with him yesterday. Expect a stream from that soon. DD214 and the Ursius Fragment stream. And he's also open to GTA, Jay, so when you got some time. And I saw you playing Modern Warfare this week.
You did.
I saw it.
Here's what I did when I downloaded it at my girlfriend's house, and I switched my account over to my account. All I did was play against bots. That's all I was doing.
No shit.
So I started playing with like bots, and I tried the different levels. So like I just kept increasing the difficulty setting of the bots.
Oh yeah.
And seeing how many people I could get through, and I was still wrecking shop, dude. Like I freaking yeah.
The AIs are really good in that game too.
They actually are. But it was like I got up to like me versus 11 bots, and so like that got too easy. So like I reset the difficulty setting, and I'd go back down to like me against 4 with a higher difficulty setting, and then that got too easy. So I just kept increasing the numbers and increasing the difficulty. But I was freaking just kind of getting back into it and just having fun, just killing bots. And did you know in the custom games, there's a way to basically like, continue your kill streaks without like even if you die, your kill streaks continue. And so I end up getting like if you make enough kills, you end up with the fucking nuke. So that'd be like that. Was
no shit.
That was my goal, was to get enough fucking kills and drop the nuke in the game. Like that's what I started doing.
That's interesting, man. That's actually very interesting. Black Ops was very notorious for having bots, and if I have to say, Treyarch, in my opinion, perfected the AIs in the Call of Duty games. So it's very interesting because I was about to dog on you for playing that game. You know, jokingly, of course. You know, because that's what we do. You know, but you know, now I see the clarification that it was the bots. So the joke.
I only played against
the joke has been averted. Damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah. I had, you know, when she had to go, there were days that she had to go to work, and it was like, I had a couple hours to kill. I didn't really have much to do at the house, you know what I mean? And whatever. So, like, I just hop on the Xbox for an hour or two and just waste a bunch of fucking bots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I've caught myself going back into just Warzone on the PC. And,
okay.
You know what? Yesterday, I met a veteran, and I am so upset that I didn't was able to get contact with him. But I did tell him about the podcast. I told him about the group. So if you're listening to this, man, I didn't forget about you, bro. I played. He was very communicative, and he said to me, he was like, Wind Talker. He was like, I was like, you know what a Wind Talker is? He goes, yeah, I know what the fuck a Wind Talker is. I'm native. And I was just like, oh shit. So, I mean, I kind of got into a very interesting conversation. You know, my gamer tag, you know, obviously is a very Native American thing. And I wanted to make sure that because as a Hispanic male, I didn't want to make someone feel like I was appropriating the name. You know? Right. You know, and he was very, very pleasant to talk to. And, you know, he was pretty much explaining, he goes, you're not out there, you know, wearing the garments. You're not out there, you know, this is your moniker, you know, you're not trying to be something you're not. And, you know, and right. I respect that. So, Aces, you know, if you're listening, man, much respect to you, man. I hope to talk to you again, man. But we got some kills, man. This guy... Great guy. And then he was just like DD214. I was like, you in the army? Because I can't, you know how I play. I'm always saying Roger or Hua. And he's just like, you in the army? I'm like, I was. And he was like, I haven't heard that in a long time. And he said it so passionately. He was like, I haven't heard that in a long time.
That sounds like a good time, man.
Yeah.
Good shit.
So, big news this week.
Okay.
The Valve Steam Deck has been revealed.
Okay.
You know, we talk about handheld and mobile gaming a lot, and we cannot talk about this without mentioning the Vita. Right. And the other, what was the other PlayStation handheld called? The PSP? The PSP.
PSP, thank you, yes.
So, you know, I wouldn't say that the Vita was a failure. I kind of see that the Vita was more like they abandoned it. More so, and you know, a lot of people are fighting. Oh yeah, you know, I still got my Vita, da. But we're going into a new age of gaming, and you know, actually, what I have here, I'm going to put it up here on the screen, is a nice little moving picture of the new Steam Deck. So as you can see, USB-C on the top, triggers, 4 triggers on the top. 4 triggers in the back. And you can actually customize the 4 triggers in the back to whatever you want for easier gameplay. You got 2 joysticks on the top, and those 2 pads under the joystick are touch sensor pads.
Interesting. So
very interesting stuff. It's powered by 16 gigs of RAM are in this thing. Okay. It also, Deshaun, you are completely right. The PSP was completely ahead of its time. I have to agree with that.
I can't say shit about that because they did so much with the PSP that really just. It was way beyond when it should have come out. Like this is what like the PSP should have been basically back then. But this is basically like a new version of the PSP.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. You got your regular 4 buttons. I mean, and in speakers in the front, which are apparently very loud, and the vents in the back. Now, what's very interesting about this thing is that, okay, you can play all your Steam games on it. Fan-fucking-tastic, okay? But my favorite thing about it is that you can connect the USB-C into a monitor, connect the keyboard and mouse, and now you have a mini PC, portable PC to walk around with you. It has Windows 10 in it as an operating system, and you could play all your games. Essentially, you can download the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on the Steam Deck and play all your PC Game Pass games on this thing.
That's intense.
Yes, it is very intense.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
The only thing I want to know about any of these things is how long does the fucking battery last?
That is actually a very good question. The battery, you could actually change it from 30 frames, I think, to up to 60, which alternates your battery life.
Right.
I got you.
That was always the biggest question. Like when you had like the Game Boy back in the 90s, you know, the Game Gear, you know, the PSP. That the ultimate question at the end of the day is, if this thing gets unplugged, how long do the batteries last?
40 hours.
40 hours?
40 hours that can support 2 to 8 hours of gameplay.
Wait, what does that mean? So 2 to 8 hours?
2 to 8 hours of gameplay.
Okay. What's the 40 hours thing then?
I guess like for everything else, if you want to run music on it or just use it as a PC. I think, and it said Deshaun Myers, the Steam Deck is going to be around $400, which is really fucking awesome. A lot of people are back and forth about the price on this, but you're essentially paying for a $1,200 PC in a handheld.
And it's only for $400.
Only for $400, and there's other versions with space, with more space. The $400 version is.
I'll tell you what, my jury's a little bit out on this. I'll be curious to see if people pick up on this or if this becomes another failed.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
I'll be really curious. And I'll tell you what, John. I don't like to be negative Nancy, but we were talking about dystopian shit earlier. I'll tell you what's really going to be the tell-all is if people got $400 to throw down on a goddamn handheld game console in 2021. A lot of people are still hurting from last year. Last year really fucked a lot of shit up. So
you are absolutely right.
I'll be really interested to see how many people actually have $400 of expendable income, basically, to spend on a handheld, whether for themselves or for their kids.
You
know what I mean?
You're absolutely right, man. And you know, I didn't even think about that. And even though it's,
I mean, I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like,
no, yeah.
I ain't got $400.
Oh yeah, because I'm unfortunately, as much as this would benefit me,
right.
I can't get it.
I can't justify the purchase right now. I really can't. Like I have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox.
You're happy.
I cannot justify having a handheld right now.
And we've had this conversation before. There is also no reason for you to move on.
No, I know. No, until the next mind-blowing fucking game comes out for either of the new consoles, the next generation consoles, I have zero reason to upgrade. I have an Xbox One and I have a fucking PS4. What more do I fucking need right now?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, seriously.
And then on top of that, you could play the cloud on your phone. You know, right. if you wanted to go that route, and you know, for those that do have the $400, enjoy the fucking thing. You know, enjoy it. You know,
absolutely. And that's the part I'm going to be curious to see, because it doesn't mean that the product is not good. You know, I'm just curious about how many people have $400 fucking laying around that they can just spend on. You know,
that's an amazing. That is an amazing point, though. That is an amazing point, that for them to come out with something like this and to make it so expensive, but at the same time so inexpensive for what it can do.
As long as if it's worth it, though, that's not expensive.
Absolutely,
you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? It looks to me like it's going to be worth it. I'm just curious how many people are actually going to buy in, basically. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Obviously, Wi-Fi enabled. There is no in-machine network that you're able to connect to. You know, it's not something that they said that they were going to look into or want to update. So Wi-Fi is the way to go right now. I mean, we have cell phones. You could always turn your phone into a hotspot. So, you know, there's ways around it. There's also a major thing here where, I mean, we're talking about Steam. We're talking about games that are on Xbox, some in PlayStation that are available on PC. That people are, you know, if people don't want to go exclusive for a console, they could just get this thing and go for this and still be able to play with a lot of their friends.
Right.
You know?
And again, I'm sure like all the capabilities are there. I'm sure all of the you know, hardware requirements and software requirements are there. I'm just curious, like, is this going to be another failed handheld system, or are people actually going to fucking jump on this shit?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I have more prices for you here. The 64 gigabyte comes with a carrying case, $400. That's it. The next one comes with a NVIDIA chip in it.
What the fuck is that?
That's what's in my computer to run this podcast and to run the streams. It's a graphics card. Fast. It has 256 gigabytes, faster storage, a carrying case, and exclusive Steam community profile bundle, which is like some avatars, badges,
right?
Bullshit. Not anything for me to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna pay $530 for this.
Right.
You know. The next one is $649, 512 gigabytes. Faster storage, a premium anti-glare etched glass.
Okay.
Exclusive carrying case, a Steam bundle, and a virtual keyboard theme. Wow!
Yay.
Whoa! Ah! A keyboard theme! Why don't you give me a fucking keyboard?
Yeah, how about that for that fucking money?
Yeah, so okay, so this seems to be the one thing that I'm just like, okay, like fuck this. But it also says here portability meets power, and that they partnered with the AMD to create the Steam Deck's custom APU optimized for handheld gaming. It is a Zen 2 RDNA 2 powerhouse, delivering more than enough performance to run the latest 8 AAA games in very efficient power envelope.
How big is the gaming screen? What is the size of that gaming screen that you're actually looking at? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, that was actually the next thing. I believe it's bigger than the Switch. Screen size is... Valve's deck is a 720 touchscreen display. 7-inch touchscreen.
7 inches? Okay. So basically, fuck it. Okay. Whatever. Okay.
Now here's something that I hope it doesn't fail. This will probably light a fire under PlayStation to step it the fuck up. Deshaun, you hang on 1 second because I have something on that too, my friend. Because it's not just PlayStation who is worried about this, and I have a big rant about Xbox getting into this. But before I get into that, there is also a dock too. The dock is sold separately, and it dock pops up your Steam Deck while connecting to external displays like monitors, PCs, and wired networking, USB peripherals, and power. You can also use a powered USB-C hub if you got one lying around. Now, you don't need to buy this dock. In an interview that they had for this, you can use any dock that has a USB-C mount on it, and you could connected, so you're not limited to this exclusive Steam Deck dock in order to convert your screen into a computer or whatever else. That I think is a good opportunity for companies like Target, who own a technology company called Heyday, which is this beautiful ivory mic here, to make a dock for this for a much cheaper price. Because a microphone like this would usually go for $100, a $30 microphone. Headphones like this that I paid for nearly $100, $40 and they sound just as good. So for a company like Heyday to make a dock like this would be the best opportunity for them. It's a good chance. I'm enamored by it. I love it. I think it's a good opportunity, like Deshaun says, for handheld gaming to step its game. But now, like he says, is PlayStation going to step up? Because they abandoned one. Well, they abandoned two, and they never really did anything with handheld. But when I say abandoned, I'm talking about abandoned. They completely abandoned their marketplace for the Vita. They stopped making games for it, and pretty much said, you know what, like, fuck you. And I had this conversation with my wife earlier. I get it. You want to focus on your bigger money-making consoles, i.e. Rockstar only focusing on GTA Online than working on a new fucking game and letting us know about it. You know? Right. So PlayStation is here, and they're not doing anything about it. But now there's been a new report. Someone on Twitter said, who says Xbox won't release a proper handheld in a year or two? And he says, the guy who answered, Jeff Grubb, who was a associate for Microsoft, says, this is unbelievable pricing that indicates Valve thinks it can own the space.
Yeah, that's about what I'm thinking. You can get a good PS4 or Xbox One right now for fucking $400.
And if you go in some places, you could get a PS5 or a Series X for that price if you can find it. You know?
That's right. And so it's like, why would I buy a fucking little handheld thing if I can just get the whole console? So they're gonna have to figure out, like, that's what I'm saying. I'll be really curious to see how many people actually buy into this, because I don't know of that many people anymore that have that kind of expendable income outside of people on, you know, along some of the higher tiers of income brackets, you know, in our country. That's a lot of money to ask somebody to spend for something that you can literally fucking drop and break. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or they can get fucking lost in an airport, or fucking the
or
shady
stolen
dude on the fucking subway. I was gonna say the shady dude on the subway fucking steals it from you. Like, whatever, dude. Like, that's a lot of money to throw down on something that take care of.
Yeah, and you know that brings in the conversation. Valve thinks it can own this space. It's almost saying that they're trying to take advantage of the fact that there's no handhelds out there, and
there's no other competition. So that, I mean, that's not a wrong statement.
Yeah.
There's no other competition out there. Why not charge fucking $400 for it?
Yep.
You know, nobody else is in competition with you. You can charge what the fuck you want.
Yep.
You know
and
what I mean?
He goes on to say, I think Microsoft is going to regret not making a handheld of its own because Game Pass needs hardware integration. What do you think of that?
Well, that would indicate that for the Game Pass, so like, which by the way, Game Pass is really cool. So I was able to go to Missouri for the last couple weeks. I got on my girlfriend's Xbox and was able to switch my profile over, or switch out her profile with my profile and play games if I wanted to on the Game Pass. And it didn't take a lot really to do that. With a handheld system, some of those requirements for being able to like travel and go other places and still retain maybe access to what you want to have access to might be a little bit limited, is probably what that's really coming down to. You know, you'll probably still have the game or two that you downloaded specifically that you're playing the shit out of or whatever. But if you just want to switch it up real quick and you're in like the Newark, New Jersey airport or whatever the fuck, you might not, depending on the requirements or the needs or the necessity of whatever you're trying to do, you might not be able to have access to it with a handheld. And that does not surprise me. That's one of those, we're getting there slowly but surely. We're getting there with the internet. But if you want to talk about like true innovation, John, bro, when was the last time like we had like the last like mind-blowing fucking invention? Like the internet, it's like the internet came out and everybody just got fucking lazy.
Well, there's
like,
only one thing that comes to mind, and that's the Oculus. That's literally the only thing that I could think of, because
that's about it. That's about it. Nobody's been inventing. Nobody's bringing new shit to the table. This is this fucking handheld is basically the 2021 version of a goddamn Game Boy. I had a Game Boy when I was a fucking kid. I'm 40 years old.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
I had the turquoise one.
What's that?
I had the turquoise one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I had like one of the original style, like big fat motherfuckers with
Fat,
like all
heavy. What was it like? It was like 6 batteries or something like that.
Oh God, it was something insane. Oh, and they would die so quick. It would die
Yep.
so fucking quick. Like
the good old days. But it's
the good old days.
It's so crazy. It like you're saying, it's so crazy because you're right.
This is nothing new. It's not like they're bringing anything new to the table. This is a handheld game, or excuse me, a handheld game system. Which I'm not saying it's a bad system. Don't. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying this shit ain't fucking nothing new. You know, that's all I'm saying. I was sneaking the Game Boy into fucking elementary school.
Oh yeah.
When I was knee high to a grasshopper, this is just literally like the modern day version of that. That's all this is.
Deshaun,
and it costs a shitload more.
Yes, and you're right. Deshaun Meyer says the Oculus has not gotten the recognition it deserves. And I have to agree. And I don't think it's given the respect either, because when you look at some of those games, they don't look that good. They really don't.
No,
you know, they've integrated Fallout, Skyrim, probably Guitar Hero. I mean, the only good games that I've been able to see on VR are the more like Fortnite-ish animation style games.
Somebody needs to catch a brainwave, and like that's the shit that needs to change the gaming. Like we should be dealing with like true de facto next generation shit, and we're not. We're seeing the same shit come out over and over with. I'll give you better graphics, more hardware, more software in the systems you buy.
Yep.
But it's the same shit. I mean, it's just like when they and don't get me wrong, great game. But when they re-released Doom in 2016, it's like, fuck man, I've been playing Doom since the fucking 90s. Y'all like is this your best? Is this your best?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like Brad Pitt and Troy, dude. I'm like, is this your best? This is why I don't need to buy a new fucking gaming console.
No,
because there's nothing out there.
Dude, and
I've already done all this shit before.
Dude, and on top of that, you can go on your shitty little laptop and download the Game Pass Ultimate, and you could play Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, and because okay, it's no secret you are a casual gamer, but there are games that you played in the past that I'm sure that you would be like, fuck, it's on Xbox, let's play it.
There were games that I played in the past that I bought a fucking system for.
There you go.
Because I wanted to play the game, so I had to buy a. But when I bought the Xbox 360, I bought that system specifically so I could play GTA 4.
There you go.
I bought an entire gaming system just to play one fucking game. Okay, where is that shit right now? Because and I did it again. I did it again with PS4. I bought PS4 so I could play fucking God of War and Red Dead 2. Now, here's the difference. When I bought the PS4, I was coming fresh off of a deployment to Afghanistan, and I had the money to spend. So I bought a new TV, and I bought a fucking gaming system and 2 games.
The data pay hits different, bro.
It does. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has that. I was very fortunate to have a little bit of money in my pocket to be able to have that kind of expendable income to do it. And I had a great time playing the games. Don't get me wrong. Love playing the games. They're beautiful. I'm actually doing a replay of I'm replaying through Red Dead right now actually.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, so when I played previously, I made my character like the uber good guy. And now I'm making him like he's just like a fucking killer, basically.
Just a piece of shit.
Anytime I see like a random person and there's nobody around, I'll shoot the random person and like rob them. Like, you know. But yeah. The gaming vest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. While you talk about that, I'm so sorry. I am over here doing the fucking pee-pee dance. Give me 1 second.
Take your time. I apologize. Had tobacco in my mouth in it. Yeah. So here's my problem with the gaming vest. It's a great idea, Deshaun, but I have a feeling if I felt like I was getting shot, it would kind of fuck with my head a little bit. You know, so like it's a great idea. We had one of my buddies on as a guest, Sergeant Bodette was on it's been a few weeks now, but he was talking about the new PS5 controller and how if it's raining in the game, you can actually feel the drops of rain on your hand with the controller. I think it's a great idea. I don't know about playing Call of Duty with a vest that makes me feel like I'm getting shot. I don't know if my mental faculties would hold up very well with that, but probably not a bad idea. That's probably going to be the next. You're probably not wrong, Deshaun. Like that's probably going to be the next big thing where you get ready to play a game and you're in this like immersive environment, this completely immersive environment, and regardless of what game you play, whether you play an RPG or a game like Call of Duty, that's probably the next step in the next evolution in gaming. Speaking of which, Deshaun, here's one thing I also want to say about Call of Duty, which I realized I knew it last year when I got into the game, but when I was playing against all the bots, when I was in Missouri, I was literally just playing games against bots. That game is actually a good trainer because the environment looks so real, and because you have to find cover and concealment, that's stuff you have to do in real fucking life. Video games have gotten to the point where you can actually play a video game and kind of see what you would need to do in real life, and I don't really want to go too far down that rabbit hole because you can take it in a very good way, let's say for like training for the military, or you can take it in a really bad way with some of the people that have really bad intentions, and want to hurt people basically, which I would never want to see a video game used as training to hurt people in real life. But the games have gotten so realistic nowadays where you can't just run and gun. You just can't run and gun anymore. You have to fucking get behind cover. You have to fucking aim and take well-placed shots. You have to you have to move. You can't just stay in one place or you're going to get fucking your shit wrecked.
Yep.
And that is just like fucking real life. That is just like real life. Like if you're getting shot at and you're pinned down, you got to get more fire downrange to get that fire off of you so you can fucking move and stay alive basically. And that's video games have come a long way as far as the environments in video games have come a long way, making it more realistic. And I can only imagine being immersed in that environment and having to actually move and do stuff and do whatever that the immersion calls for. But I don't know. That's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. Of wearing a vest makes it feeling thumps from getting shot. Like that'd be kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be kind of scary. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and so it's actually that he it brings that up because that rig, it's very from what I hear it's very heavy. But wouldn't you like to have? This is just me being a fucking imaginary nerd again, guys. Imagine having the Steam Deck with the vest. Now we also have that little box thing that pushes out temperatures. So like if a grenade goes off by you feel the heat. Have you seen that thing before?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it. I've heard of it.
Very, very, very interesting stuff. So,
I could see it being used for like training purposes. Like that's like some shit we could use in the fucking army. Did you ever go to the oh god, what was it? It was like where you had the M4s hooked up to like a pneumatic.
Oh, yep.
And you shot at the screen.
Yep.
That's like fucking 1990s tech, bro. They had that shit like in the 90s. Like
they got that shit. That's the shit that they have at the infantry museum.
We've got one at my job. We have one at my job, and it's like we don't just get to go in and use it whenever we want, obviously. But
yeah.
But I mean, it's like that's like 1990s tech, dude. That's old.
Can you imagine if they were to fucking like update them today?
Yeah.
Holy shit, Jay.
To where you could be in a fucking rig and you could actually take your squad out on patrol and actually do stuff in real life time, basically, and
imagine doing it in a room like how they filmed The Mandalorian. That would probably be the best. That would probably be the best hands-on training that you could get.
That's about as close as you're gonna get.
Holy shit, Jay!
The real shit, dude. That's about as close as you're. Well, because that's like there's parts of Call of Duty where it's like, I can see it in the game where it's like you can't just do whatever the fuck you want. You have to fucking kind of follow.
Yeah.
You have to follow the laws of physics. like when I was playing against 11 bots, even though the bots were at a very low difficulty setting, there was 11 of them and there was one of me. So I couldn't just sit there and stay in one place. I had to fucking take a couple out and move to the next place. Take a couple out, move to the next place.
They will find you.
You know, and they will find you, and they do. And that's like, and especially like the harder the difficulty settings, like what's the hardest difficulty setting?
It's sad.
It's called real life. The hardest difficulty setting is real life because you only get one chance. You only get one shot. You know, you get your head ventilated in real life. You're done. That's it. That's the end of your existence.
Yep.
So, I could see it being useful for training, but it's also on the flip side of that coin, it can be dangerous because you could be potentially that. So, that's my thoughts on it, I guess.
Hey, man. And to cap because we're hitting time, to cap off on the Steam Deck, because I have some breaking news for you right now. It says that the following games will not be playable on the Steam Deck: Destiny 2, Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege.
Damn, dude. Those are like all games that people play the shit out of.
Yep. PUBG.
Damn. Really?
Yeah. Dead by Daylight.
So what are they going to play?
DayZ. Smite. Fall Guys, which is probably one of the most popular games out there right now. Paladins, Black Desert Online, and Hunt Showdown.
Damn.
So I guess you could play Call of Duty, guys. You could play Call of Duty on the Steam Deck.
Right. Sounds like that's about it at this point.
But there's a whole, Steam. But so, before we get into our final thought, we have just received breaking news.
Hey, I hope you like it.
Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific will be the worldwide reveal for the new Tom Clancy game.
Okay.
No one knows.
Okay.
No one knows what it is. Zaddy's working right now.
Oh God.
We don't know what this game is. This is absolutely the biggest.
I'm so glad you like
Oh, wait a minute.
What you got?
it. It's her eye.
All right, I got footage right here, guys. You guys, do you want to see it?
Yep, do it. Do it.
So I'm gonna show this for you, so that you could see this.
Looks at you.
Can you see that?
The devil eyes. I can't.
Yes.
All right, give me 1 second so I could.
I was like, wait, I gave you something to do yesterday.
Oh, Deshaun Myers is pumped. He's like, hell yeah.
Sorry, you want to download something?
All right. So it looks like it's going to be a first-person shooter. Oh, it's like a force field that's around him, protecting him.
That's interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we got our new first-person shooter.
Yeah, I think we might.
Very, this is literally a first look. I mean, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. I mean, we'll see. We'll see when it comes out and we start getting reviews and everything else. I mean, jury's always out until the game's officially released, but I mean, it don't look bad.
The full reveal will be tomorrow. It says there's no name of the game. There's nothing. It's a first-person shooter of multiplayer variety, and that's all we know. And
right.
I mean, I'm a Tom Clancy slut, man. I love Tom Clancy, so I couldn't be more excited. And I mean, just real quick, right from seeing that footage, I see a lot of Division stuff going on here. I see the CERN, the Homeland Security stuff here. I also see what looks like to be New York City. That force field looks pretty interesting to me, to be honest with you. Looks like it was protecting him. Looks like he could.
Wonder what they're gonna do with that?
It looks like he could shoot out, but they can't shoot in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, check that out. 1:30 p.m. Eastern on the Ubisoft YouTube. And once again, guys, is it your week this week?
I think it is my week this week, actually.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
take it off, man.
it probably is. As always, thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure. I want to thank our sponsor, Rogue Affiliate, again. But as always, we close our show out talking about a little bit more heady, more serious stuff. So if you're out there, if you're having a not so good time, if life is just continuously kicking you in the dick and it's got you down, don't fucking give up. There's people out there that care about you. There's people out there that love you. Regardless of how you feel about that, there are strangers out there that love you, okay, that don't want to see you make bad decisions or otherwise harm yourself. Okay, so if you ever need help, if you ever need somebody to talk to, the suicide prevention lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. We've gotten kind of into a groove the last several weeks of doing this show where most of our conversations are pretty light and we talk mostly about gaming or sports or whatever until the end. The sad reality is people are suffering out there. If you know that your friends are suffering, reach out to them. If you get a random phone call at 2:30 in the morning from homeboy or homegirl that you haven't talked to in however long, answer your phone, please. Answer your phone. Be available for people. Be good to each other. Always. Like Bill and Ted said. Be excellent to each other. We're better. We're better than this. We're all human beings. We're all gonna have good and bad days. Just don't give up. Just don't give up. There's a brighter day ahead. And if you ever reach a point in your life where you are just terrified that you're not going to be able to make it another day, watch the sun come up. Watch the sun come up. And if you see that sunrise over the hill, that means you made it another day, which means you can make it one more. So I just want to encourage everybody with those words and remind them to reach out and remind everybody to answer your phones when somebody calls you randomly or sporadically. So hope you guys all have a good week ahead, and we will definitely see you guys next time.
Yes, we will, and we'll be another week closer to Kansas City, guys. Thank you guys so much. See you next week. Don't forget.
Don't forget.